So, greetings for the day. Welcome to another session of soft computing. Today, we are going to start our third unit of soft computing. In the last session, we conducted a Q&A type of a session for doubt clarification. If you have still any doubt with reference to the first and second unit, you can either ping me on my email address or you can directly message me on my email address, and I'll tell you in the best of way I can help you in the first two units. The first two units were the overview of the soft computing, the overview of the things. And from the third unit, we are going to actually study how things will work in soft computing. What are the rules and what are the conditions, the terms, and how a fuzzy system or how a fuzzy things are being decided and how the decisions are being taken and how to overcome the errors that is been there in the previous things. So in today's session we are going to see an overview of the third unit, what actually the third unit is all about, and what are the things that we are going to study in the third unit, and what is the importance of third unit, and what are the basic and what are the different things that we are going to learn in the third unit. Now let us consider the first thing, that is the fuzzy arithmetic and fuzzy measures. Now before studying any of the topic, you should know the pro and cons of any of the topic. Like as we are studying soft computing deals with different fields and is not only affiliated or is not only related to computer science. Fuzzy system and fuzzy things comes under the Department of Mathematics. It also comes under the Department of Computer Science. This also comes under the Department of Electronics and Electrical. So this subject is a shared subject. The subject is a shared subject with different departments. Now, if you see from the first, this looks like a mathematical subject. And also it's a mathematical subject. This was been designed with reference to mathematics. Now see, as we are doing engineering is all about mathematical calculations. But along with that we are going to study our core subjects. Like as we are into computer science, we are only dealing with the things related to mathematics only with reference to computer science. The things which are been related only to mathematics with reference to computer science, only those part will be taken into consideration. If you consider the same topic as fuzzy with reference to electrical things, that mathematics will be different. So it is very this should be very much clear in your mind, like which section of the subject you are going to study, which section of the part that you are going to study. If you consider with reference to computer science or with reference to computers that we have, it is not only with reference to computers. What we do is like we embed some code onto it and we make that system to work efficiently, effectively. What about the device that is been made? What about the circuit that is being made on the motherboard? What about the mapping? And what about the electrical things that is been embedded on that computer system? So it means like computer is not only with reference to, or the computer science is not only related to computer science. It is being associated with different subjects, and if it is being associated with different parts of the subjects. If you are performing some of the calculations like 1 plus 2, what is this? This is mathematics. We are being performing those things with reference to computer science. If you want to design a circuit with reference to what you call as, or if you want to design an electrical transformer, what we are using, we are using with the help of computer, we are able to design, we are able to automate that particular powerhouses. So it means computer science deals with every of the subject or every of the different subject available. Like it's not only computer science that we are going to study only programming. And please make things clear in your mind. If at all if you think computer science is only about coding, it's only about executing the program, then you are totally wrong. If at all if you see in your subject called as software engineering, there you will see coding comes at the 7th or 8th path with reference to software development life cycle, and coding plays only 1 or 2% in your whole of your software engineering part. It means computer science is not only about coding and execution of the program. Computer science is all about designing, implementing, testing, and like updating of the things. This is all about the things. Now why I'm telling all of these stories? The reason why I'm telling all of these stories is, in this subject we are going to study the different parts of the subjects with reference to mathematics. This might be pure mathematics. Pure mathematics doesn't mean, I repeat, pure mathematics doesn't mean we will be having formulas, we will be having equations to be derived, we will be having exercise to be things. There might be some parts, but this is not completely with reference to mathematics. Okay. Now in this in this unit we are going to study about the fuzzy rules that we are going to make. Like if I ask one question, like think about this question and try to get an answer to this question. If you are moving in a traffic, and you want to know who is the first person who went through this traffic, who is the first person who went through this traffic, in the sense who was the first person who crossed the traffic signal, or who is the first one who is on the road. Can you calculate? No, it's not possible to calculate. Why? Because if you consider from 5 o'clock, if you like, for your convenience, there might be some other person who has went through the signal at 4 o'clock. If you consider at 4 o'clock, there might be someone who has crossed that signal at 3:30. It means these type of things is fuzzy. Like you don't have a clear idea how to calculate all these things. But what we can do, we can make some predictions. We can make some prediction based on the previous data, that who is the first who can go or who can be at the first. Like if you consider a race, a bike race, a car race, or a cycle race, there will be people who will be moving at once. All of the people will be moving at once. Among the people who are moving at once, one person will be first, one person will be second, the third will be third. It means if at all everyone is moving at one instance, then it is easier to decide who is first, who is second, who is third. What about the moving traffic? You cannot decide who is the first one who went through this particular place, and also with reference to which place you are asking. Like if at all if you want to know who is the first person who is on the traffic, from which place you want to ask, like either from place A, place B, place C, place X. He might be first at place A, but he might be last at place X. So it is not clear. Which rules to be embedded, which things to be done. So in this session, like in this chapter, we're going to learn about the fuzzy rule based on approximate reasoning. In this chapter, we are going to learn about the approximate reasoning that we can make based on the current fuzzy things or current fuzzy set. Okay, or it's like there are many of those things that can be taken into consideration. For an instance, if you consider, you want to consider like who is the first, like among the class, whose paper will be checked first, who will get the first of the marks in the sense not the highest marks, on whose paper you will be getting first of the marks. Now based on the department, you cannot say either it can be first year, second year, third year, fourth year, or there can be some of the person like who has a backlogs. It is not clear. So for that we will be using some approximate reasoning and some fuzzy rule based on things to decide one particular thing. Now the second one is like with reference to the truth values or truth tables. Like this is the thing that you are studying from your 10th class, like true false, like truth tables. Now what is the reason we are studying this truth table from class 10? What is the main reason? See, this plays a very prominent role with reference to the truth tables. Like to decide something, you cannot put your own conclusion. You cannot put your own conclusion or anything. What you need to do, you need to have some approximations. You need to have some approximation so that you can get an desired output. You can get a desired output. Like if you consider when you are writing the C program for the first time in your engineering, you are like, what if you always give A equal to 10 and B equal to 20? Every time when you execute the program, the output of this program with reference to addition will be 30. Every of the program when you execute, like any time when you execute the program, the output will always be 30. The output will always be 30. And if you are using scanf, if you are using a statement called as scanf, every of the time when you are using that program, the output will always be different. The output will always be different if different inputs are being given. But when we are considering the same thing with reference to the previous program, the output is always 30. Now this type of thing is called as static and dynamic type of things. Okay. Now what I am trying to tell is like the truth tables with reference to this, for the first one it is always true. In the second case, this might be true, this might not be true. So for that reason, we are going to study the truth table, the possible conditions that can happen. What are the possible conditions that can happen? For that reason only we are using scanf. For instance, if I give you another example, you are writing a program for division. The denominator value should always be greater than 0. The denominator value should always be greater than 0. Then only you will be getting the division value, or else you will not be getting the division value. You will always be getting infinite, the value as infinite if you consider the denominator value as 0. So for that reason, we will be applying some rules. So that this ambiguous thing should not happen. And also if you consider another example with reference to bank. You have a credit card or a debit card. The limit of that credit card or debit card is, let us consider 10, and you want to withdraw 11 from it. Can you withdraw? No. At this instance, when you are withdrawing 11, the ATM machine should get stuck. Okay, the ATM machine should get stuck. Why? Because as you are having only 10, you are withdrawing 11, but still the machine is working and it is giving a message like invalid input. So how you have done? You have done based on some of the rules called as exception handling. Based on some of the rules, you have done this. On what basis you have done? You have done this based on exception handling. If at all some exception happens, the system should not get stopped or the system should not get stuck. What should be done? There should be some error messages or there should be some confirmation messages that should be given to that particular user, so that he should know what is the error that he is doing, so that next time this should not happen. So for that we will be having some possible rules, and that rules might change from situation to situation. Okay, for an instance, if I will tell you what is 5 divided by 0, the answer is infinite. What is 0 divided by 0? What is 0 divided by 0? This is unknown. So for that, like if you consider the numerator value as 0, the value should be 1. If you consider the denominator value as 0, the value should be infinite. Now what to do now? Like 5 divided by 0 is infinite. 0 divided by 5 is 1. Okay. So based on this, you will be deciding the values. So for that reason, the rule is not always okay. Like if you consider the rules, if the numerator value is 0, the value is 1. If the denominator value is 0, the value is infinite. So at this reason, if you consider the values based on this, what is the value 0 divided by 0? It is unknown. Like we cannot predict based on the numerator and based on the denominator. Whole of the condition should be taken at once. So for that reason, we will be defining some rules. We will be dividing and defining some of the definitions, how things can be done, and we will performing some of the fuzzy reasoning and fuzzy logics. Fuzzy reasoning and fuzzy logic in the sense, you will be analyzing the input, you will analyzing the condition, and you will be writing some of the output based on the previous inputs. For an instance, if I tell you, you want you want to buy something, and it is for sure that that thing your parents will not give you. For an instance, I'm telling you an example so to make you understand how things work. Like you want to buy a bike, or you want to get you want to get into any of the party, or you want to go for any of the outing. You are for sure that your parents will not allow you for that particular thing. So what you will be doing? You will be doing some prerequisite things so that your parents would be happy for you, and they would allow you to go to that place or to buy that bike or go for an outing. There is a probability, there is a possible thing, or there is something called as an approximation which will help you to analyze whether if at all if I do these things, will my parents allow me to do this particular thing. So based on that assumptions, based on that prediction, you will be taking some steps. How did you know all these things? You knew all these things why? Because you have experienced something prior. You have experienced something prior that if at all if you are doing these things, your parent have given you these things. So based on these previous things, you are deciding the prediction of the things. So for that, we will be having the truth tables, we will be having some of the rules, we will be having some of the decision making skills, and some logical control systems. Logical control system in the sense like you want to buy the bike also within this time. Okay, you cannot do the same thing for a long time. So based on that logic control things also you will be analyzing, and you will be doing some particular things. And also the reason why I am giving you the example is to make you understand. Don't write the same thing in the examination, the final examination. Okay, to make you understand, I am telling you all these things. So based on this, you will be predicting, you will be analyzing, you will be making some assumptions to solve that particular problem. And you will be knowing from the previous input with the previous references that how things will be done. And also, like if at all if I ask you to sing a pre-primary poem like Johnny Johnny or Twinkle Twinkle, it is very easy for you now. But for a 2 or 3 years of kid, it is very difficult. Why? Because his ability of analyzing that particular thing is very little, but your ability of analyzing and remembering that poem is very easy. So based on your previous experiences, based on your previous input, fuzzy systems will take some decisions. Fuzzy system will take some particular decisions so that it will be helpful for you in making a proper and approximate decision. That decision might be true, that decision might be false, and also the decision may lie in between them. Okay, like in the previous session I give you an example. If at all if you consider a person, and if at all if you judge him, like whether it is good or bad, if at all if you see the good side, there might be some bad side, and also there might be some bad side, also there might be some good side. It is not obvious like he is only good person, not bad person. No, he might be good at something, he might be bad at something. Okay, you might be good at computer science subjects, but you might be bad at electronic and electrical subjects. You might have some interest in some electrical subject, but you will not be having some of the interest in some of the computer science subjects. So it depends upon the analyzing things, and it depends upon the logical reasoning that you will be having. And the last one is fuzzy expert system. In this you will be doing some of the particular things. Okay, based on the logic, but based on the experience. Now here I will give you a small example. When the first time you will be riding a bicycle, when you are learning to ride a bicycle, when you are trying for a bicycle, you had fallen many times. At that instance you have to hold 2 of the handles, but now you have become an expert in that, so that you can ride the bicycle without holding the handle, also with one hand, also with 2 hands. Now you have become an expert. If at all someone gives you a bicycle or a tricycle or a bike, you will be able to drive it without your conscious mind. But when you were riding it for the first time, when we were learning it, you have to put every of the conscious of your mind on that particular thing, so that you can learn very well. But now you have become an expert in such a way, without a conscious mind you can drive in a traffic. We can, like, while speaking on a bike also you can ride, and also without speaking also, like, but this is not, like, with reference to traffic, this is not a good thing, but I'm telling you to make you understand that you, with your unconscious mind also, you can do that particular thing. That is been applicable with reference to the fuzzy system. You will be having an expert fuzzy system which will help you in analyzing and predicting that particular result. Okay, now this is all about the fuzzy arithmetic and fuzzy measures. This is all the thing that we are going to study with reference to the fuzzy arithmetic and fuzzy system in this particular unit. This was just an overview of what we are going to learn in this particular subject, and what are the things that we are going to achieve it from in our real life, so that where this can be implemented. This fuzzy system can be implemented in every aspect of your life, in taking decisions. Like, you should not be preoccupied with any of the things. You should not be preoccupied with some of the things. Like, if at all you are preoccupied, then you cannot make a proper decisions. You cannot make a proper decision. This is all about making you understand what fuzzy arithmetic is and what fuzzy measures is all about. Hope you understood something from this session. If at all, if you have anything to ask, just ping me on my email address, rahmat_ali2u@yahoo.com. In next session, we're going to learn about the fuzzy rule based approximation and reasoning, and the truth values and truth tables. What are the things? That's all for today. I hope you understood something, an overview of what third unit is all about. Thank you for joining this session. Thank you for listening. Hope all the best day for you, and see you in the next session. Thank you.